Hello everybody and welcome to my channel and welcome to a journey into the land of fantasy. This is Martina and this is Fantasy in Blue, my latest journal, which I'm very happy to share with you. And as you have might guessed, the inspiration for this name and for the journal as such came from this wonderful fabric which had been gifted to me some time ago by the equally wonderful Pam from Glamp Junk Journals. And those of you who know her, you know she is the queen of bling bling, and I'm very happy to share with you this wonderful fabric and the land of fantasy in blue. And why fantasy? Because I did all the things which I'm really happy to do when I do a journal. And yeah, stay tuned and you are going to see a little bit more. Before we go into the beauty, I'm going to let you know the measurements. So she measures 20 centimeters, 13 centimeters, and she comes with a 5.5 centimeter spine. And in inches, this translates into 8 inch times 5 inch, and she has a 2-inch spine. And she has about, or even more, because I didn't count all the pages, she has roughly 120 pages. And a lot of surprises. So let's open her. She is closed with some ribbon from sari silk in a muted beige tone because I wanted to stay a little bit away from the overall blue theme, and therefore I have picked this color. So let's open her and go and get inside. So on the left hand side you are going to see a kind of a compartment which I'm opening now, and you will be seeing what is behind. But also please have a look to this one. I have attached this, it's not a sticker, it's a die cut, because it says, "Give me flowers, I'll give you art." So I hope you consider this piece as a little bit of piece of art. So let's open this, and you see there is a side pocket, and in this side pocket there is one of the many collaged tags which I have attached to this journal. And this one is a special one because it has a flip and it has another addition, and it also has a little bit of glimmery nail polish, and it has been collaged. And I had so much fun doing these kind of collages with my paper strips that I have decided to add more of these tags in this journal. So put her back and close it. What you see on the right side is a postcard which also has been gifted to me by Tracy. And it's such a pretty design, and it also has wonderful colors which perfectly match this one here and also this one on this side. And therefore I have added it. And I have also formed a side pocket on the inside. And in this side pocket there is a little card saying this book belongs to whomever, because it is available in my Etsy shop, and it is also available for my dear customers in the US. So let's go into it. She has 3 signatures, and the first one has been decorated with pretty paper, and also further decorated with some kind of a bling bling and a wonderful light blue trim. So opening it like this, you see some lace on top, and you see a little picture, and this is also a kind of a pocket because you can tear out or take out this small journaling card which shows a butterfly, and it looks really pretty. On the opposite side, this stems from an antique book about flowers, and I've cut it to size and I've attached it here. And then we come to a little flip which has been constructed by using wallpaper, and this wallpaper is not paper as such because it's really sturdy, and I have already used it for one of my journals, and it's perfect. It doesn't tear, it has a nice touch, and I've also further decorated it with some light blue-green, I think also coffee-dyed lace. And the inside I have covered with another collage because Land of Fantasy, Fantasy in Blue, I did a lot of collaging as I mentioned, and I've used antique book paper. I've sewn it, I've glued it, I've sewn it, I've added some color pigments, and I think it looks special. It looks unique because you never know what comes out when you do such an exercise. Here on the other side, some wonderful blue trim and a Victorian card. It's a Victorian design. It's not an original Victorian card, just a design, but it looks so pretty, and it has the Angel of Love, the Cupido, on this wonderful picture. And here's some gold trim. Here you see another of my collaged tags, and this one I have also further decorated with some fabric. This is silk, and then I've added some chiffon. And when you touch it, you can feel the haptic. It's really nice, and it sits here. Some vellum, some coffee stenciled paper. Again, this as well. And here another tag, and this one is not a collaged one, but one which comes from a digital paper. And I love how well, it's not the same designer, but I love how well these two do match in terms of color. And there is a little bit of blue, and on the opposite side there is even more blue and green. And I've further added some pretty light blue lace, which is very fine and very romantic. This is just a strip of paper which comes from my coffee stenciling exercises, where I have also used some color pigments, and this one here is decoupaged. And of course I have added it because of this wonderful blue, and I think it's the scenery of an Italian village. Very pretty. Some stenciling on the back side, a little flip with a lace pocket on the right side, and inside you have two tags, and I've picked those because you might have guessed, because of the blue and because of this pretty design. And look at this flower and look at this flower, it really matches. Again, some nice teal blue, teal green lace on the right side, and a side pocket here, another Victorian design card, also with Angels of Love. So there is a lot of love in this journal. And as you might have guessed, I made it with a lot of love because it was so much fun. And I thought it's finished, it's done. And then I added here a little bit, added here a little bit, added some tassels, and you are going to see. And this here is an embossed rose on pretty paper, and I further, in order to make the pattern stand out, the embossing stand out, I've added some gold wax onto it. This is a pink page which has been coffee dyed and therefore is muted, and it has been decorated with some Indian cotton fabric. Decoration here, coffee stenciled paper there, and when you open this one here, you see the motif of a wonderful bird. And because it's a bird, you see in these pockets I have attached two vintage collector cards showing birds, and both of them do have some blue feathers. So this is again this embossed page. This is coffee dyed, and as usual I design my journals in a way that they are heavily filled, but I have not decorated each and every page because I thought the future owner might have a lot of fun making the journal her own, further decorating or even writing into it. So there are all possibilities. But when you flip it here, then you see this is a fabric pocket in light blue, sitting on some pretty digital paper, and inside there are some further roses. And this is the little flip and a little pocket, and of course, those of you who know me, know my channel, do know that a peacock, at least one peacock, is in each and every of my journals. And this is one of those, another card and another Victorian card. So, this is the other view on this Italian village scenery. I love this paper as well because it has this green, blue colors which are so well in tune with the opposite side, where I have used this polka dot design paper and attached this side pocket in this pretty green. And here you have another of my collaged tags with a little pocket here formed from some lace, and inside, and this is one of the few elements which I have not bagged and not sewn around, inside there is a little rose card. And pretty white lace, in order to break the blue a little bit. Because I think when you have something white in this journal, then the blue even pops out more prominently. This is the vellum. This is a wonderful blue lace, blue trim. And what you see here is the copy of a fashion magazine, of an old fashion magazine from 1890. It's coffee dyed in order to make it look even older, and you can flip it like this because I glued it here. And then you see this is the wallpaper I mentioned before, and this is also the collage which I have used to decorate the inside. And I kept it like this, but you can also keep it like this one. It's up to the future owner. This is the old flower book. And here you have another flip, and this is featuring a picture in the design of Alphonse Mucha, and I've turned it into a pocket, as you can see, and a flip, and inside there is a big journaling card which I've also attached a flip on in order to make it more easy, make it easier to take it out. And it has a wonderful motif with this blue lady, and I love the colors obviously, and therefore it's here. It sits here, and when you flip it, then you see there is another pocket and another pretty lady and another cupido, two cupidos, or even three, with a wonderful Victorian girl. So we are almost at the end of the first signature, but not quite. Here you see a side pocket formed from lace, and inside this is also an old collector card with this wonderful blue flowers sitting here. And this one has also been collaged, as you might see. It's collaged and then it's sprayed with color pigments. Therefore you have these gold tones. And when you flip it, then you see there is another pocket, and in this pocket there is two little tags, and there is also another pocket, and in this pocket there is another tag like this. And this has been originally an envelope which I've decorated with the paper strips which I had in my stash. On this side you see I did some stenciling in blue and green, and I also added here a strip of this wonderful fabric which has formed the cover. This was the first signature. Now we come to number 2, and because of the blue fantasy, or the fantasy in blue, of course there is a peacock, and of course this peacock also has the decoration with the sequins, because I think this perfectly matches the type of bird he is. Unfortunately, it's a he. And this is another nice trim, another pretty design paper or digital paper on the inside, and a little flip. When you flip it like this, you see two journaling cards or two tags. This blue, of course, obviously, and you also see these wonderful flower basket. Teal blue lace over here. This is a little bit light, because when I had coffee dyed the paper and I took away the different sheets of paper, this one got a little bit torn, but I think it has a nice feel, so therefore I kept it. I have formed a pocket from a wonderful blue lace fabric, and I've attached this ruffle from chiffon, and inside there are two pretty tags. This one is very nice, but this one is even, I think, even nicer because it has this pretty Victorian image. And on the back side there is another side pocket with a little bit of decoration over here, and it shows a blue bird. Again, this is the fabric I have used to form the cover, and it makes such a nice decoration for the edge of this paper. And here I have attached a little bit of blue ruffles. And this one is some transparent fabric which I have used to decorate and form a pocket, and inside there is such a pretty journaling card, pretty tag in this wonderful blue tones, sitting on this very pretty digital paper. So I really got overboard with all the blues. And this is, I would say it's dark blue, although you could say it's almost black, but I define it as dark blue. And when you open it, there is another very, very tiny Victorian inspired journaling card. And of course I have further decorated it with lace because I love lace. This is from some drawing paper. This is another coffee stenciling exercise, and I love it because it shows forest scenery. And as you might see, I have also used some color pigments in gold and red and blue in order to make it even more interesting. Also the backside is very nice, I guess. This here is gift wrapping paper in this pretty yellow and blue colors. And on the back side, a side pocket. Look at this, how nicely it matches over here. And there is a hydrangea, because you know hydrangeas have wonderful blue tones, and a blue butterfly. But this is not the only blue butterfly, because here is another one. And I've turned this into a clip. And this one I formed from collaging different pieces of magazines, pieces of magazine paper, and then using some acrylic paint in order to give it this blue tone. And it sits on a page which has been decorated with this pretty blue lace. Oh, I think I put this back later. And here you see a side pocket. And in this side pocket there is a little tag which I formed from some design paper, and where I've used some distress ink in order to make it a little bit more blue. Some special paper here. I think it looks so nice when you look at these brown tones here and the brown tones over there, and then you have the blue. I think it's a wonderful view. This is one of the things which I did at the very last time, because I thought, I would like to make a tassel, and then I found a tassel in my stash, and I also found this pretty trim, which comes in this wonderful blue tones, and the tassel perfectly matches. So I made a clip out of it, and I have decorated the backside with this wallpaper. So it's very sturdy. You can use it here, you can use it everywhere. I put it back, I think. I try. So, oops. And what you see here, I think, is another nice picture. You have this wonderful rose bouquet, and inside I have attached tags which do match the color scheme over here. Very nice, I think. And on the opposite side, this wonderful blue-green fabric, very light, in a chiffon style, and also with some gold decoration, and you can flip it like this. Then you have another pretty tag in wonderful blue tones, blue and gold, and it shows an artificial butterfly sitting here. And there's some further decoration from this pretty fabric over here. This stems from an old book, which I have coffee dyed and stenciled. Here I made some stenciling with some modeling paste in order to have this nice feel, because this is the other thing. You see this journal, you see what I did, you see how it looks, but I think it's a different story when you have it in your hand and you can feel the different feel from the paper, from the different material. Some is a little bit more softer than others, and I think this is part of the miracle, so to say. Now we come to the center spot of this journal, and here I have attached this wonderful blue scenery with this flower vase and this candles over here, and I've turned it into pockets, and inside there are 2 tags also in blue. Guess what? This is stamped on old book paper. This is one of my tags which I do from time to time, where I've used decoupage and glimmer, and I do some embossing and I put some varnish on it, and I've attached it with a yes, I don't know what's the name, I've forgotten, with a brad, so you can flip it, turn it a little bit, and I've secured it from the back side. Here's some stenciling. This is the washi tape which I've added and glued on in order to secure the opposite side from this sprayed metal. And this is a very busy pocket page. You have 5 different journaling elements. These and this one and this one, and then you have another one over here. So, and this one also has been glued on with a peacock, because, as I mentioned, peacocks are important for me in my journals. So put this here, put this there, so you can experiment with this page. So this is some special paper, and this special paper has also been formed into a pocket, and in this pocket there is another journaling card and some paper which features some butterflies and herbs. The golden gift, another blue digital paper, and another nice pocket formed from digital paper, and this is a pretty butterfly with wonderful blue wings, and I've also added some nail polish on the edges here in order to make it a little bit more glimmery. Stenciling over there. This is a strip from this fashion magazine, this old one which I've coffee dyed, and where you have seen the two ladies before, so I've glued it on here in order to enlarge a little bit the page. This is the drawing page. This is another flip, and in this flip another combination of 2 different journaling cards. So you have many journaling cards in this journal, and therefore you have enough room to write or to make notes or whatever. And most of them in this journal I have either backed with this blue color or with green color cards. Not cardstock, it's a little bit lighter than cardstock. Typically I use packaging paper, but in this instance I thought it's nicer to have these corresponding blues. And this is also from this fashion magazine here. There is another flip, and in this flip there is another lady in blue. And you see again this wonderful digital paper, and what you also see is another bookmark which I've turned into a flip, and this is some trim with wonderful pearls, and I've also colored it more blue because I sprayed it, and then I have attached this tassel which is from India, so it's a kind of a jewelry, fashion jewelry, and the blue is perfect, I guess, and therefore it sits here, and I hope you like it. So this was end of the second signature. We come to number 3, and number 3 does not start with blue. It starts with green. And this is the last piece of this handmade paper, which I had bought some time ago. And I love the green. I love this light green very much. I've sewn on this lady, and I've also added some wonderful lace with rose motifs, and which nicely do match the rose lace on this side, the magnolia on that side, the rose here. And when you turn it, you see, oh, in this pocket here, which I formed from some lace, there is another lady, or fairy, or whatsoever. Anyway, she wears a rose, and the rose perfectly matches this one, and also nicely matches the coffee and color stenciled paper on the opposite side. I love this paper. So I think initially it was yellow, and I've added some brusho color pigments and some other color pigments, and then of course coffee dyed it, and so many steps, but the outcome is pretty, I guess. This is the envelope I talked before, which I have decorated with some collaging, and in this envelope, in this behind the window, there is another pretty lady, which is a famous actress from the, I don't know, 1920s or so. So, and there's another pocket formed from some fabric, and inside 2 blue birds. Modeling paste, which I've turned into light blue. This is, no, it's not modeling paste, it's gesso, but I colored it light blue. Some not blue, but pink colored lace. And the pink colored lace perfectly matches the wonderful digital paper here. This pretty pocket, and also this wonderful butterfly, which I've cut out like this in order to make it a little bit more uneven, not so constructed, so more like, oh, it just happened. Vellum. This comes from an old savings book from the bank, and I think it's about from 1930, 1940, something like this. So, and this one here is a page, or are 2 pages from the Art of Vogue magazine, and of course I picked it because of the blue, also because of the crown. I love it, and the backside is also nice. We see here it says Vogue, and inside there is another of my collage journaling cards, which I've also sewn, and then I've added some vintage silk, sari silk, in blue obviously, and then it peeks out like this. This is eco-dyed paper. This is vintage wallpaper, which has been gifted to me by Sarah from Canada. Hi. I still have a little bit left, and I'm so happy to use it from time to time. It's so pretty. It's so romantic. And the backside I've decorated with this butterfly design paper. Greened it a little bit, so I added a little bit of green distress ink in order to make it match the opposite side even better. And the opposite side comes in this light green. I've added this blue belly band and the blue belly band, and this one nicely matches, and inside there are 2 journaling cards, which I think also do match very well the color scheme. So as I said, it's blue, but it's not only blue, because this is what I like. I like to have a kind of a blue thread, red thread, throughout the journal, but I also like to deviate a little bit from it. I love also this lace. It's really nice, and it also has a nice feel. Here again you have this Alphonse Mucha design, or Alphonse Mucha inspired design, which I turned into a flip. And in this flip again you have this pocket, and here you have another wonderful pretty butterfly. It says postcard, and I've backed it, as I mentioned, with blue. And there's a tab where you can tear it out take it out more easier. Rose, and again a pocket, and in this pocket you see these Victorian kids, whatever, Looks nice, I guess, and it perfectly fits into this pocket. And here you also see two pockets, one pocket here and one pocket there. And it comes in this teal blue design color scheme. Stenciling. This is, as I said, the eco-dyed paper. You see it here even better. This is a little pocket you can put in some things. I put in this one, which I have not bagged. This is one of the few. Oops. This is the savings document. This is the vellum. The pretty lace you've seen before. Another pocket formed from this transparent fabric with these wonderful stars and sitting on a pretty digital paper, and inside again a collaged tag. I had so much fun, and this is one, and you see this one because this comes from the spraying. Because what I did is I first glued the different scraps on paper, then I have cut out the form of the tag. Then I made this sewing here, then I added some silk here, some chiffon there, and then I sprayed it with the different color pigments, which gives this really pretty, I guess, color play. And because of this, you have this spot on the back side. This is this pretty page I mentioned before, and you can even make it larger, bigger, longer. And music paper, a rose, this handmade paper, the last pocket which I formed from some coffee dyed trim, and another tag which has been collaged and where I have sewn on 3 little pretty buttons which were gifted to me by Tracy. They are so cute, and I added some burlap and. So it sits here. You have another view on this pretty lace, and you have another final view on this pretty fantasy in blue journal. I hope you liked it, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up. I'd be happy, I'd be delighted, or even leave a comment. This would be the best. Thank you so much. This was Martina. I wish you a very nice time, and I'm not sure if I'm going to do another journal still this year. Maybe I do, not so sure, but if not, then I wish you a wonderful time until next year. So, bye-bye, Martina.